What's up, YouTube? Welcome to another logical, plausible, probable.
Hey there, Mr. La Papa. How's it going? And you're welcome to another episode of Me Am the Smart. I hope you enjoy your time here, because I know I won't.
Where in this video I'm going to tackle 4 stunningly naive arguments made against God by atheists around the world.
Translation: 4 stunningly naive things that atheists don't actually say, don't mean what you think they mean, and or clearly aren't supposed to be freaking arguments. Or, you know, all of the above, because why wouldn't they be? They always are.
Now, before we get started, make sure you like and subscribe to my channel.
Nah, I'm good, thanks. In fact, what I'll do instead is like and subscribe to that Sir Sick guy. He makes extremely handsome content for attractive people, and as a handsome attractiver who's good at the sex as well, I really resonate with that message. And if you want everyone to know that you are too, you should subscribe as well.
I need to stay in touch with you, and I want you to be aware of all the latest videos and different topics as they come out.
Fuck me, that's desperate. I mean, I want people to subscribe and like and all that shit, but it's because I measure my self-worth in petty numbers and statistics. And more importantly, whether or not they're bigger than last time. Is it healthy? No. Does it really benefit me? No. But does big number go burr? You're damn right.
Now, coming in at number 4 is the magic man in the clouds argument about how Christians and anybody who's in religion, all we believe in is this magic being in the clouds that satisfies all of their God of the gaps arguments.
That was completely incoherent. You have apparently mixed up a joke thing that atheists say to mock you with a legitimate argument against using God to answer questions we don't have the answer to yet. These are not the same things, buddy. No one is using Cloud Man as any kind of argument against anything. It is a joke. A bad one used over and over, maybe, but a joke nonetheless. And if you don't get it, well, you should just cry to your sky daddy to make us stop.
Inconceivable! Inconceivable!
Right. What? Why? Why did you use the inconceivable thing from Princess Bride? That's actually super fucking ironic, since the whole point of him saying that over and over again is that eventually he gets called out. You keep using that word. I do not think it means what you think it means. Thank you, Inigo Montoya. And in your case, I'm pretty sure it's actually going to be, you keep using that argument. I do not think it means what you think it means. And the words. And the everything. Basically, I don't think this is going to be particularly smart. Just a hunch.
Honestly, the more we learn about science, chemistry, physics, all the different aspects of how the universe exists, this argument gets more and more annoying to me personally.
Wait, what? You really don't know what the things you have said mean. No wonder you use a perfectly ironic clip. Amazing. The fact that we have learned more about the universe and that none of those things, the explanations, have ended up being God did it, is exactly the point of the God of the Gaps argument.
Because it's not a God of the gaps, how could this possibly be done argument. It's a, hey guys, we're not suggesting it's done by magic. We're suggesting that there is a being that has the ability to control space, time, physics, chemistry, and so on, and enables life to exist.
I don't know how to tell you this, buddy, but magic and a guy that can do things beyond the abilities of any creature in existence are basically the same fucking thing. It's just that you have again confused jokes about theistic worldviews, like Magic Man, with a serious attempt to refute certain standpoints. But saying God did it is absolutely a God of the Gaps argument, and the fact that you are annoyed by that doesn't change the fact that it's a completely fair point.
Which I find very interesting that they push back against this so far and claim God of the Gaps when human beings right now are learning how to control chemistry and physics and leverage these different components to be able to create our own stuff.
Seriously? You know, I was giving this guy a hard time. I didn't really think that he was dumb, but apparently he really is this catastrophically stupid. For one, how many universes have humans made exactly? So I don't know what your point is when it comes to that. But also, does this mean that your god is just some dude? Well, then he's not a god. He's just someone who knows how to do more things. This is really just sufficiently advanced technology will appear as magic, but somehow as an argument for God. How does one person screw up this badly and not be me trying to build an IKEA cabinet?
Obviously, on a micro level, if we're able to do it, why is it so unreasonable to conclude that a greater being would also be able to do it just on a universal scale versus the micro that we currently live in?
No one is saying that a god-type creature couldn't do that shit. The argument is that when we keep figuring out shit that people have claimed was God's doing, we then find out that no, it wasn't. It just puts a nail in the coffin of the things that God gets to take credit for. Therefore, you can't use that as proof for his existence. For fuck's sake, it is not that complicated.
You keep using the word. I don't think it means what you think it means.
Hey! Don't you be debunking yourself. That's my fake job. Because being a YouTuber obviously isn't a real job. Anyway, he uses a few clips and I'm going to be skipping them all. Mostly because I want to keep my fake job. And because they don't support anything he says. So honestly, it's a win-win. Seeing as he will sound ever so slightly less stupid this way. You're welcome, pal.
Coming in at number 3 is the we're too stupid, naive, unable to recognize whether or not there is evidence of design being required for our universe to exist, for life to exist. We're just not capable of actually being able to tell one way or the other.
Wow, and I thought I was the massive dickhead, as if that's anything even remotely like an argument any atheist has made. And not just 100% ad hom style bullshit. No one needs to be naive to dismiss the universe am designed argument. The fact of the matter is, the universe exists how it is via systems. Systems that don't require a god though in order to make stuff because, you know, they just do. Just because you think it looks designed doesn't make her stupid for noticing that it, you know, probably isn't.
To me, that's kind of an insult to their own intelligence.
You making up stupid shit is an insult, but the only person's intelligence that brings down is, well, okay, everyone, because we all had to hear that shit.
You're basically arguing that you don't have the mental capacity to figure out whether or not it's logical to conclude something appears to be designed or doesn't appear to be designed.
No, Fudgewit, we disagree. We aren't sitting there going, oh, I don't know if it's designed because me a big stupid. We conclude that in all probability it wasn't because it doesn't need to be. Not to mention, when you compare the designs in nature to designs by humans, they are very different things. As they say, if God designed the human body, he would be fucking sacked.
Because everything appears to be designed when there's no other scenario in any other aspect of human existence where if you come across technology, you come across information, you view something as having been built and that it couldn't exist without having been built, then if you're just throwing all that out the window in regards to one of the most important questions of our very existence.
I mean, whether or not that is actually important is, like, your opinion, my dude, but then you just throw out the fucking watchmaker argument, like we haven't heard this shit before. It's almost like people like this guy haven't actually engaged with any atheists ever who can demonstrate how stupid the shit he's saying is, you know, because while I am not a betting horror, I like them odds.
Now, to me, that's a stunningly naive conclusion to reach that literally insults everybody on this planet and argues that we're all too stupid to actually recognize whether or not there's evidence for our existence being subject to the intelligence of a designer.
Holy shit, this motherfucker. There's no arrogance quite like the arrogance of the ignorant. Everyone is stupid but me, a saying made famous by a literal cartoon idiot. And he wasn't even me.
Coming in at number 2 is abiogenesis.
Oh, God. Look, I don't know what Matey Boy is going to say, but when he just throws out a scientific term as if it's a stupid thing that atheists, made up, well, it's not likely to be good. In fact, I'll be shocked if he can accurately define the fucking term.
It fascinates me how all of these philosophers, scientists, evolutionists, everybody who doesn't want to believe in a higher power loves to just kind of ignore the facet of abiogenesis being a legitimate question regarding our very existence.
No one ignores it. It's a question that we have yet to answer, but it is also not one that necessarily needs an answer. Otherwise, you can't have philosophies and the like that exclude God from them. Although, you showed your hand already when you said evolutionist, which means you almost certainly are a creationist, suddenly explaining why you don't appear to know anything. For instance, I don't know, evolution does not need to explain abiogenesis? They are separate fields? It's like asking a car mechanic where the engine came from and thinking that if he doesn't know where it was built, then somehow he couldn't possibly know how it works.
And it cracks me up when you look in any textbook. The premise of biogenesis means that life can only come from other forms of life, but we should somehow just forget about
life as we currently know it comes from other life. It doesn't mean it has to, always. Again, this is just you not knowing how learning new things works and assuming that all unknown answers immediately proves your position. We should come up with a name for that.
The fact that abiogenesis would require life to have come from non-living material, and that there is a incredible amount of improbability, number one, and in some aspects, if you really want to get down to the nitty-gritty regarding information, that it's impossible for it to have occurred without an external influence, an intelligent agent coming into play to make it possible.
Impossible? If it happened, it happened. Also, just because external thing does not mean external thing would have the properties you claim. You have to actually demonstrate that shit. Otherwise, you are just making assertions with nothing to back it up. Also, again, just because we currently only seem to see life coming from other life does not mean that it couldn't come from non-living materials. I mean, for fuck's sake, what do you think it's made of? Although the really smart creative boys then jump in and go, well, scientists trying to prove life came from non-life. Lol, 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 lol. Of course, being too stupid to figure out that an experiment showing how something could happen without intervention, if successful, would prove how life could come from non-life. That's just how it works, you dizzy fucks.
But we should just forget about all that, blindly accept that it should have just happened by magic, which is why it cracks me up about the God of the Gaps argument. Didn't you say that I'm the one that believes in magic?
You are literally the one that believes in magic. Get over it. But no, you don't understand what's happening, obviously. No one is saying, accept it, just ignore it. Ugh. People are literally trying to demonstrate how it could have happened all the time. There are loads of experiments that demonstrate how elements of pre-life could have happened. So saying we ignore it is just a lie, or more likely, the fact that you are ignorant. Maybe a little bit of both.
And things just occurring? Well, it seems to me that if you're going to ignore abiogenesis, then you're actually the one that is falling into a God of the Gaps argument.
Where exactly do you think that the term for abiogenesis came from? I mean, you claim this is about atheists, and then you go on about, science shit, as if it's wrong. That's right, it comes from science, and you can't just dismiss one whole branch of science that you don't like, and then use the science that you think supports you. That's just how being an intellectually honest person works. Not that I think you are either of those things, but
Except that your gods are chaos and chance, and mine are that there is an intelligent agent to whom creating life was not an overwhelming expectation and was something well within their abilities and their powers to be able to make come forth.
The fact that you think that we think that the universe is made from chaos demonstrates that you have no idea what science says about how the universe formed. And nobody in the universe is shocked by that particular revelation.
Coming in at number 1 is the idea
that you are a person who has any idea what atheists think or say or believe when you so obviously don't. But hey, he's got one more chance to prove that one wrong. Let's watch him, fail at that.
That an immaterial mind could never make something material like our universe come into existence.
Okay, I'll be completely honest, I haven't got a fucking clue what that's supposed to mean, and it's certainly not something I have heard any atheist claim. Now, maybe I just haven't heard that particular one. I mean, it's happened before. There are things that I don't know. I'm happy to admit that. Although it's more likely it's actually one of two other things. This is the shit no one says, but theists say, atheists say, or he has completely butchered a thing that atheists kinda say. Neither are great options, but the second one is preferred, because I really don't want to argue a point that no smart person thinks is a good point. I mean, I'm not a creationist, am I?
This one, especially in the modern era, just fascinates me because everything that we do in technology, whether you're watching this on your phone, on your computer, you might be watching on a Roku, on your smart TV, there's all sorts of different ways that you could be leveraging this information that is always going to be immaterial.
See? I've heard of things. I bet you he's the kind of motherfucker who calls all tablets, regardless of make or operating systems, iPads. You just know it, don't you? And if you think that and tell me that it's not a big deal, then what's this? iPad? No, dipshit, it's a laptop. Fuck you!
Computer code has never had mass, ever. It can be housed inside of something that does have mass, but it has never physically taken form in regards to matter. So to make the argument that that could never possibly exist or ever be accomplished is to literally dismiss basically all of modern technology and all of things that we know about information and what can be done with it.
Computer code is not immaterial, you fucking doofus. It literally exists. It is physically stored on hardware. As I understand it, the data is stored as essentially a charge or lack thereof, and if you interrupt that by, say, destroying the thing holding or not holding the charge, the data is gone because it was real. It existed in the material world. It's like saying writing on paper is immaterial because it's just ink on a page, that's not real. Absolute fucking buffoon you are.
And that things can be immaterial but still have material impact.
So I think I figured out what he is saying, and the closest I can get to an atheist version of this stupid shit is that if God is beyond our universe, then he shouldn't be able to interact with the universe. And I guess it depends on the type of God you're talking about. But it's not really something people dedicate much time to because it's not really that useful. Although the one thing it does do is explain for you how there could be a God, but that doesn't seem to interact with the universe because they made it sure, but you can't be inside and outside of it at the same time, etc. So that explains his complete and total absence from the universe. You know that, or he doesn't fucking exist. It's one of the two.
So I find this one, it's hard for me to get around this one, especially when they start trying to go down the rabbit hole of explaining all the information that's inside every form of life as just being chemical reactions, which is one of their favorite arguments.
But they are that. What are you talking about? Even if there is a God, that doesn't change the fact that the way beings exist is basically that they are made out of chemical reactions. And again, the fact that they are that and humans aren't powered by some mystery force is a bit of a problem for people who think that they are.
It's like, yeah, there's chemical reactions that are being done to execute information, but they don't actually contain the information.
Someone execute me, please. Because he just agreed with the point and then just said, but I don't agree. Like, that's not just contradicting yourself. And yes, they do 100% contain the information unless you can prove that it's somehow still there when they're destroyed. And no, but souls though isn't proof. That's just a bullshit made up explanation without proving anything.
It's like saying that because you have an ink pen, when you write on a piece of paper and the words form, that there was not actually a transfer of information from your mind to that piece of paper. It was just chemical reaction of the ink bonding to the paper.
I swear I had no idea he was going to make the same point, but somehow make it totally his point and, really badly. The information exists in your brain. It exists on the paper after you've done that. There is no other place that it exists that floats down from on high. You just inscribe it into a different medium and basically make a copy of it. That's it. No magic required.
Now, as you think about these different topics that have been discussed,
You first, dumbass.
I want you to ask yourself, it's the whole purpose of this channel, what is the more logical, plausible, and probable conclusion to reach?
That you are a giant fucking idiot? Yep, thanks for letting us know. Bye!
Wait, before you go, I have something super important to tell you. It's life or death. It will change everything forever. Nope, wait, it's gone. Oh well, probably wasn't important. But while I have you, don't forget to comment, subscribe and notify. And if you want more of my smexy voice, check out Mrs. Six's channel Spoonstaff Stories, where I narrate and voice all the videos, and she does the work. And if you want to support the channel, check out the merch store for cool t-shirts, or check out Patreon, memberships and PayPal to support directly. Finally, follow me on the medias of social to get completely pointless guff and to keep up on the latest releases. Oh, I just remembered what I was going to tell you. Whatever you do, don't touch the